The Hunger Games Catching Fire, the sequel. Is it better than the original? Let's talk about that. Okay, so Catching Fire, the sequel to the original Hunger Games. We're on our way to the newest Hunger Games that's coming out in theaters very, very soon. So we're talking about all the Hunger Games, and now Catching Fire is the next one. Now, there is a time skip between the first one and the second one. I don't know exactly the rough estimate of time, but it is a decent amount of time. And now we progress the story even further. Now, I absolutely love the first one. Some people say Catching Fire is the best one. Now, when we're talking about Catching Fire, what I think it does really well is it does exactly what the first one did really well with showcasing the world, showcasing the capital, giving us an idea of what the Hunger Games are about, showcasing these characters, making you care for these characters, and then they take all those elements and they do it even better in the second one. Catching Fire to me is better than the original, and it does exactly what a sequel should do, which is elevate the first one, but also then elevate itself and take ideas from the first one and just do it better in the second one. And that's exactly what Catching Fire does. Now, in this one, we obviously have Katniss and Peeta, who won the Hunger Games, going on like this victory sort of tour. They're stars now. They are part of the capital. They are the ones. They won the Hunger Games. This is where you see them start to realize what is actually going on behind the scenes. What is the corruption that is behind the capital? Who is President Snow? What is his motivations? Can anyone stop this? And that's what I love about this movie is the whole, it does exactly what the first one does. It takes this whole first act and just builds upon the lore, builds upon the capital, builds upon the relationship of Peeta and Katniss. What is going on with them? How are they dealing with this limelight, with this fame? Becoming the champions of the Hunger Games. Seeing the other districts and, speaking about the other fallen tributes that went into the Hunger Games that they had to kill. We're seeing all that, and then the realization of, what the capital are really about and what they are really capable of. And look, that whole tour element is just fantastic because you're seeing, especially when they go to District 11 and they talk about Rue and that, and then you see them do the Kiss the Mockingbird tune with the 3 fingers up. It's just so, you feel it. And I think that scene is just well directed, well acted, and it just delivers all that emotional when Katniss is talking about Rue and, just her feelings about how she couldn't save her. I just love that. And then, everything happens and someone dies. And this is where Katniss starts to see, oh my God, if I don't stay in line and do what they want me to do, more people are going to die. And this is when they start to go on that tour even more, that when they start reading the cards and they don't actually speak from the heart with their feelings and how they actually truly feel, this is where the other districts start to really turn on them and say, tell us how you really feel. Don't read the cards. Don't read what the capital want you to tell us. And this makes Snow, this is where we actually see Snow at his, devastating. We see what this guy really is, how ruthless he really is. And he starts to get agitated by this because of the thought of rebellion. You have that idea of rebellion coming up and crushing him. And he doesn't want to lose his power. No one in that position wants to lose their power to a revolution, do they? So they have to devise a plan. Katniss and Peeta have to devise a plan, and they devise a wedding that could, bring everyone back together. And, this is where we get introduced as well to the new Game Master, who at the start you're kind of okay, this Game Master guy, he feels very shady. He's very shady. And, the way that he's speaking and stuff like that, and he's speaking to Snow and telling Snow, we got to kill her, but kill her at the right time. I get it. She's becoming a symbol, and we don't want that. We don't want them to have hope to uprise, but let's kill her in the proper way. So you automatically are thinking, dude, this guy is shady as, really shady. And they do a really good job of hiding the twist that comes later on in the movie with the actual Game Master. What his whole plan is. So obviously then we have Snow, who creates this idea of it's 75th anniversary. Let's get all of the tributes who already survived and let's all chuck them back into the Hunger Games. Now, this is what I love about Catching Fire and what they do really, really well, is introducing these new characters. Joanna, absolutely fantastic character, an unhinged person who hates the Capitol and won the Hunger Games and was promised peace. But now they're bringing her back in, and she does not care. She's the one character that does not give a single F. She will tell them exactly how she feels on live TV or whatever. And that's what I love about her character, is she's so unhinged, but is willing to tell the truth straight away. Then you got Finnick, who I absolutely love. I think bringing Finnick was a fantastic idea. And he's just, when you first meet him, you're like, okay, this guy's going to be like this arrogant asshole who's like, going to be the guy that's going to be in the way all the time, that's like flaunting their plans all the time. But then when you find out that he's actually in on everything, it's just like this beautiful, wholesome moment. And you're like, bro, Finnick's awesome. I love Finnick. I love him in this movie. He's just so cool, man, as well. When he's fighting and everything, it's just absolutely fantastic. So introducing these new characters, obviously then you have these other characters that get introduced in the Hunger Games that we haven't seen before that are absolutely fantastic as well. And it's just, I think this was really, really good. Having these extra characters, these new characters, older characters, not just kids fighting each other. Like, we have actually full-grown men and women who are actually fighting, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And then you have the Hunger Games itself, when it's all going on, and how it's a clock and how they figure that out, the different things that strike on the hours. It's absolutely fantastic. And obviously, Snow wants to kill her. Wants to kill Katniss because she's becoming this symbol of an uprising. And it shows you just how corrupt these capitalist people are in the capital. Because her becoming a symbol and an uprising happening, they lose their way of life. And Pete and Katniss see this when they're offered a drink at this party, and Pete's like, what is this? And it's like, it's going to make you throw up so you can eat more. That's how we do it. And then Pete realizes, look, there's people in District 12 starving, man. We have people starving. And these guys are just eating and throwing up shit just so they could eat more. Like, you have that. And it shows you just the full severity of what we are dealing with when it comes to the capital. And then obviously they send in this captain as well into District 12 who is lashing Gale as well, and who doesn't care. And you just show like they're just out there with the fear, trying to, set a tone that we are in charge. Whatever you do doesn't work. So you just see that what we're dealing with and how bigger it is on a grand scale, like trying to overthrow the capital. So you have all that, and then obviously you have the dress as well that she wears with the Mockingjay, wings, and obviously Snow is not happy with that. So obviously there are multiple people in here who are trying to stick it to Snow and stick it to the capital and say enough is enough. And this is where you get that moment where Katniss is going up to the Hunger Games and her dressmaker gets beaten and then taken away. It's a sad moment because that guy is just like, doing his job realistically, just creating these cool outfits and everything like that, but also, putting in a little hints here and there to, help the uprising happen. But obviously then you have the Hunger Games itself, which is so much fun in there. Like, you got the baboons and everything like that. It's not as violent as the first one, but I think story-wise it is better because it's telling this story, of Katniss trying to trust people, but then also not trusting people and realizing only one of us is walking out because she has no idea about the plan. And I think having her, in the dark was the right move by them as well. And then obviously when we get that big, big twist where she fires the arrow up to the actual force field and destroy it. And this is when, that big ship comes down and grabs her. And this is where we find out that this was the plan all along. She is the symbol of the resistance. She is the symbol and the hope that they're all looking for the uprising to overthrow the capital and change the way that things are. So when she realizes that and then realizes Joanna's gone and Pete's gone, and it's like, wait, what? Pete's gone? And like, this is where that love triangle is kind of like, okay, so Katniss, who do you love? You tell Gale that you love him, you kiss him, but then you also love Pete at the same time. So you have this love triangle going on between these people, and it's very interesting. And it's like, Katniss, just make up your freaking mind. Which one do you want? And this is the thing that happens in society now is like, you have this idea of this fake relationship going on to please other people. And that's what happens in the Hunger Games. Like, there's so many different parallels to the world we live in now in the actual Hunger Games itself. Like, this idea of, like, we need to pretend and make this as real as possible. But then when the cameras are off, it's like, no, it's not the same. But then it's like, over the course, do they actually fall in love? That's the question. But, look, Catching Fire, to me, does exactly what the first one did really, really well, and does it even better. Adding these new characters that you actually care about, having them go on this journey, seeing more lore of the capital and seeing what Snow and how he wants to kill the idea of hope is just absolutely insane. It's something that I think they did really, really well here in Catching Fire. So let me know what you guys thought of Catching Fire. Did you guys love it? Did you not? Smash it down there. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.